Today, I want to tell you why you should stop paying for ChatGPT and start using local models. The main reason is that the data is yours. ChatGPT has released this feature talking about memory. What that means is that they managed to plug all of the conversations that they had with customers into a system. It could be a really big RAG system, it could be semantic knowledge graphs, whatever it is. It's proprietary, so we don't know what exactly it is, but it could be a really dangerous weapon. Imagine that one day any politician, like we've seen before with Trump's elections, decides to persuade companies like OpenAI to access the data and to see if they can get any insights from it. Well, ChatGPT has absolutely everything about you, right? It's got the workouts that you've been performing in the gym. It's got your company information when you've asked, oh, can you fix this Excel for me? Or can you analyze this piece of data for me? So all of those things combined can create a really big profile of you that if at any moment somebody wants to create a really targeted weapon, whether it's through advertising, whether it's to manipulate politics and so on. If we look at this graph, back in the day when GPT-3 was released, the amount of data required to train it was really small. So this blue line that you can see over here basically is telling us the story of the amount of data required to train the models that we've seen today, all the way up to Llama 4. Comes a moment around 2028 where the amount of publicly available data to scrape and the amount of data that is generated by users, not synthetically by ChatGPT, Claude or whatever, is basically matching. What that means is that there won't be any more publicly available data in the market, and therefore the only available data will be the one that the proprietary models have, which is your personal data, your company data, and so on. Companies like ChatGPT or OpenAI have been constantly saying over the last few months that they want laws to allow them to train on copyrighted data. The reason for it is because open source models caught up really quickly. So we saw the launch of DeepSeek that took the internet by storm. Everybody was talking about it, how they distilled information from ChatGPT to train the model. Another good reason behind all of this is that the moment that you use a local model, you essentially are saving yourself the cost of the tokens. So if you use the API through ChatGPT or any other provider, you'll see that once you reach probably around 1 million tokens in input, you'll get charged, and at the same time, you'll get charged another amount for output tokens. When you use local models, that doesn't happen. You basically need the compute power to run them, and you can use them as many times as you want without having to pay anything other than the server that hosts the model or anything like that. There's also a very good reason, on top of that, use local models, and that is you can modify them to your liking. You have things like unsloth, which allows you to fine-tune models super efficiently using less VRAM. You have Hugging Face, which is a fantastic resource for fine-tuning, hosting models, and so on. And that's it. Hopefully I managed to convince you to start using local models. And if you want to follow along to learn how to use them, if this is the first time that you're hearing about them, I'll be putting together some content in the next few weeks to get you started with them. So stay tuned for it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.